Hi there and welcome. I am the Imperishable, and today's episode I've got you covered. So today we're not going to have a look at something in-game, like in the middle of a game kind of thing, or something a bit janky there. We're going to have a look on the list building side, and with the idea of, is 3 the magic number? And the reason why, and we'll show you on kind of the old world build-up and also the rules. So in this, it's talking about having units of 3 on your kind of stronger stuff instead of going for that 4th model. So this is what I'm talking about. Chariots being in 3s, your snakes being in 3s for Tomb Kings, looking at Dragon Ogres being in 3s, looking at also anything else like that. So Demigryphs, I can just... Gyros is a massive one for the Dwarf Expeditionary Force, running them in 3s. The reason being is, when we have a look at the rules, now in the new match play guide, you give up points if you're fully dead, if you're fleeing, or if you are fled off the board. But you also now give up points if you're below 25% strength. So, this is where it comes into. A unit of 3 can never go below 25% unless it is dead. So let's have a look at the rules, let's look at some list building, and then jump into Warhol just to see where it can come really useful, especially into like gyros, chariots, and how we can use it to to our advantage. So here is just the rule. It's from the match play guide. It's on your how to score victory points. As I say, technically, if you're running it out of the book, you don't use this, but everyone is playing this. So the key bit down here is this: each enemy unit that has been reduced to 25% of its starting unit strength or less at the end of the battle, or if the unit strength is equal to or to its starting wounds, it's 25% of its starting wounds. We'll talk about this in a different episode, talking about chariot mounts. Or something on it is worth the number of equal to 50 points rounding up. So this is the idea of a unit of 3 can never be below 25%. So you can play a bit aggressive with them, and if there is a point where, oh actually, I don't think this model's ever going to get into combat, it is about a 100 something point unit, a 200 point unit, whatever, I'm going to now try and flee, get it away so it just doesn't give up any points. And it is really vital, really good in stuff that is skirmishing, because obviously you can fly away really hard, or anything that can get reserve move, anything that can march really far away. These types of things are really big. So for me, a big example, because I'm currently looking at doing a Knights of More list, is having a look at Demigryphs. So the idea is I run a unit of 3. I can get these guys to full plate, shield, etc. for 189 points. Okay, if I lose 2 of them, I still haven't given up any points. Okay, I'm very tough. I'm a T4, 2-up save. I can get to my place where maybe I can go hide him. It's 189 points. Is one Demigryph going to actually do a lot of damage? If I actually got it in, if I really did what I need to do, and let's say this is like a shooting guy, I get 5 attacks at best if I've got a champ, or it's 4 attacks. 3 of them are alright, 1 is a bit rubbish. Is there a point of keeping them alive, or keeping them in the fight? Or do I run them back and try and keep 189 points? It's harder for obviously non-skirmishing units like a Demigryph himself, but it's quite good. Also, what's quite interesting is if you ran these 3-man units, but with, let's say, a character. So in my case here, a Grandmaster, also on a Demigryph. Okay, I can pull them out and put them in the unit. If I lose 2 of them, maybe then I could try and maybe propel just the character on its own out there, and maybe try and hide the Demigryph and use it a bit of like a send out. Obviously, if I get the whole unit in, it's fantastic. But it's that thought about it of like, actually, if I drop down to 1 model, is it better for me to go forward, or is it better for me to hide? So we'll jump into Warhol now. So we talked about it, showed it off. I will show you how to kind of best utilise it, potentially with a Tomb King's chariot, and then also some gyrocopters. So let's go have a look. Okay, as you can see, I've got Warhol up. I've got just a unit of 3 gyrocopters. As I said, looking at using 3 as kind of that magic number. The idea is of, let's say I haven't got it down here, but let's say there's a cannon here. It shoots, because of skirmishes they can hit multiple stuff, and you lose 2 gyrocopters. Okay, currently it's quite bad. You've got to do a leadership test. Okay, I passed it because I am leadership. Oh, actually, I actually fail it. But let's say I passed it. Okay, cool, I passed it. I am now in a position where I can either try and use this model, this 60-something point model, because we could get, it's not there on game info, but the idea, if we look to use this model, we can either use it aggressively and try and get some points back, but realistically, am I going to make 200-something points worth of value? Because likelihood is I now play with this single model, he's going to go out there, he's most likely going to die, or now do you make that decision of, actually, I'm a skirmisher, I can fly, I'm going to jump my 18 inches away, just so I cannot be shot. And yes, I have lost the tool. It can't really do anything. It's got a little bit of domination, but that's about it. But then there is no points. I'm not getting anything. However, it has now stopped my opponent from getting 210 points. Okay, because right now I've got to make that decision. Can I make 210 points, or do I not? Or do I go about hiding him? If we look now, instead of importing, let's say, something that's a little bit harder, so like a Doom King Chariot, let's go there. I think they're on special. There's in Chariots, I've got 3 units. Once again, let's say I'm in this position, I lose 2. Okay, I've got my solo model in the middle. I can look to use certain bits, so I can use some of my half my movement. I've got 4 inches left. I get to do a free pivot of 90, and then I look to just get him away. Okay, once again, it's about 170 points. The likelihood is this chariot is just going to die if I keep him out, and now I'm playing that game of trying to keep away, trying to keep points. And a lot of these solo models or units of 3 models can be quite fast. So as we said, with Demigryphs, they're a bit faster. You can get them out there. They can march 14 inches and try and get away. They've got high arm saves and bug out. But once again though, you've got to make your decision. If I continue with this unit, am I getting anything out of it? Or am I just throwing away points? Yes, it's another target they've got to shoot, but realistically, to destroy a single model, it isn't required a lot, and as your opponent, there's a lot going for it. Obviously, if they all died shooting, it's just what it is in turn 1 kind of thing, but the idea is you are forcing your opponent to make, to waste shots kind of thing, and this is where if you join it along with like a big brick or bigger stuff where they have to kill the whole thing or lots of it to even try and get points, it's harder. They've wasted a turn trying to kill the Skeletons and Chariots. I now bug out and out the way I go. There's no points gone. I now try and move him. Obviously, I go like, let's say 2 inches that way. I go 6 inches that way. I pivot up just to make sure. And then the idea is I'm far enough away. Maybe I'm a bit in the open, but there's ways you can get around it. It's all about keeping your points. So, looking at it, that's how we can use our units of 3 to conserve points, play a bit to the thing, try and play that more maybe skirmishy with them. If there's a place where you can hide them, if let's say it gets too hard, play to that side. So if you're playing with like buildings and whatnot, run your 3-mans near there. So if they get in, brilliant, they're going to get their points. But if they die down to 1 man, you move them to the side. Obviously, some really kind of big things that we might look at. Another one on these Gotcha Covered is looking at solo characters on chariots and or kind of on cavalry mounts or anything like that, because they do not give up points as well, because they don't use starting wounds. They'll never give up points unless they die, which is really big. So using character mounts I think is honestly amazing. I think stuff like Chaos can do it really well. They can have some phenomenal character mounts. Same with Beastmen, you can do double a heavy chariot, and they are so tough to get rid of. But I have to kill you to get any points, which, as I say, you play until they've got a wound, and then you try and bug out there, kind of thing. But no, I'd say thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to Gotcha Covered. As I say, if there's any other videos or any types of things that you're curious about, any questions or an interaction that you saw, please let me know down in the comments. That would be fantastic. As always, thank you very much, and ta-ra.